You're doing peer assessment, right?
Hi, I'm Janis Botma and my student number is 150069. I will be continuing on the conversation of our game Endless Deep, and I will be discussing the concept art and the game art. So the general look and feel of the world, it changes with each galaxy and planet, and each one of them have their own unique style. So we want to focus on a high level of detail to achieve something close to realistic. The characters are very detailed as well, but just not enough to, with a slight touch of stylistic elements. This makes the game realistic, but it gives it a distinguishable style as well. The game world takes place in a science fiction environment, like the player's spaceships, different planets, including technologies and advanced Earth. This is kind of like the detail we are looking for in our characters. Um, the areas, planets have different beautiful scenes, but we want to create the planets so that they look like one would expect outer world planets to look like. So not it should defamiliarize the way we see alien planets and or how we see planets. So the colors should be different and the weather should be different and there should be dark spots in certain areas and stuff like that. Each planet will also have its own um, economy system and alien civilization, various species and bosses that you need to defeat, as well as climate. Then this is the concept art from Avatar, and I feel that they really captured what I'm talking about outer world experience when coming to different planets, like the different colors and being able to see different planets from where you're standing on the world is what we want to achieve. Um, the inside of the ship needs to stay scientific because um, the whole game is revolving almost around a scientific element. So we want to keep the inside of the spaceship very scientific, but the game also has um, horror elements to it. So we want to keep the spaceship dark and creepy, and this is why we gonna make a room like in Warframe where there's clones of yourself hanging around, because that is the way that um, we're gonna make the player respawn without having to restart the level. This is some concept art I did for one of the levels. These are some more, and this is mainly what the spaceship's going to be, what the spaceship's going to look like at the inside. Nathan will also have the ability to craft his own armor and weapons and to upgrade them, so he will need a workbench, which this is basically. This is one of the environments with lava and stuff coming out, and this is one of the dark holes of the ship again. Um, the main character is Nathan Fletcher, and he's 6 foot tall. He's a Caucasian male, and his body type is quite muscular. So starting off, we're gonna give him a stubble beard with a comb over hairstyle, but the player will be able to change this throughout the game to their personal preference. And then his clothing will also be able to be customized. But this is mainly what we're going for the starting character. Then this is once again this is the 3D model that I made of Nathan Fletcher, and this is more hairstyles and poses with different outfits that I created for him. Um, then the interface. In the beginning, we had to separate two concepts of the main HUD and the weapon wheel, but we decided to conclude to have a mixture of these two concepts. The main HUD consists out of 5 elements: a minimap, a health bar, quest instructions, the icon of the weapon that is equipped, and the ammunition of the equipped weapon. Um, we are going to have 3 different views that the player can go into. It's going to be a first-person view, an in-helmet view, and a third-person view. Um, we had to get multiple resources to get the HUD just right, because we want to keep it simple, but we wanted to still make it scientific, sci-fi, futuristic. So first we looked at Dying Light because it's quite simple. the weapon wheel is quite simple. It's in the middle of the screen, and it gives you info of your weapon, but not too much to distract you. As well as the minimap is a small piece of your screen, and the opacity is low, so you can still see through it. The second element we looked at is Crisis 3. This is where I found a futuristic style, and we wanted to keep with the sci-fi look of the game. And the third one is Iron Man, because the in-helmet view is going to have the in-helmet view is going to make the non-diegetic elements of the game. It's going to make it diegetic so that Nathan would see them as well. So, like for instance, when you're playing in a first or third-person view, you as the player will only see the HUD. Where when you're playing in the helmet, then Nathan will be seeing the HUD as well. This is the main HUD that we discussed, and when you get hit, you're going to have a simple arrow just showing from which direction you're being hit. The minimap is situated here, but its opacity is low as well, and your quest, your markers and your enemies will be shown on it, and then it's just a simple quest telling you what to do, and then your ammunition will be at the right hand side. This is the second one, which is similar, but it's a bit more simplistic. It's not as scientific and futuristic. So yeah, this will be the weapon wheel. Well, deciding between the two. This is the one option for the weapon wheel, and when you press Q, the weapon wheel will pop up. Also in the middle of the screen with a low opacity, so that you can still see through. When you're hovering over a weapon, the certain details of the weapon, information regarding its ammunition and its reload time would pop up to the right. When you're hovering over the gauntlet, a pop-up will come to the left with the different elements, because we're going to have 6 different elements for your gauntlet, and you can choose which one you want to use. When you release Q and you haven't selected anything, then the last item that your mouse hovered over will be selected. This is the second one, which is more simplistic once again, and we didn't want to put too many weapon types, so I think we're going to stick with 4, because it's a primary, a secondary, a throwable, and your gauntlet, which is your main weapons. And when you want to change it, you can actually go into your inventory and change your primary weapon to something else. The map, when you press M, Nathan is going to bring his hands together like shown in the picture, and then the background is going to pause, but it's still going to look like what it looked like before you pressed M. And then the minimap is going to shine a holographic view out of his gloves. And then after the screen paused, then the player will be able to move around on the map and place certain navigations and cursors and things for him. The journal on the map is integrated, so whenever you choose your quest that you want to go do, then your quest is displayed on the map as well. And then this will be the in-helmet view, where when it will still have all the elements of the previous HUDs, but just Nathan will see them. As I said, it will become diegetic. When you're hovering over a weapon now, a pickup weapon, then it will give you the icon at the right top corner, which tells you in which category this weapon falls, as well as its info. And then while you're just walking around, your quest will be displayed on the left-hand side. And this will be the menus that we have for NSD.
Okay, that looks very cool. I like the menus a lot. Just go back one slide. Okay, that one there, you just have to make that UI there curve the other way. Because currently it seems like it's going, we're looking at something else that is on a curved surface that goes like that, instead of the curved surface being like this. So that's why the surface you see in Crisis, the UI elements are angled like this, so it automatically draws your eye to the center of the screen. So with your elements tilted like that, our eye constantly sort of darts out of the screen and not necessarily into the screen. Okay. So just change the angle of that. Okay, any questions? Any suggestions? Any comments? Okay, very cool. Art looks really, really good as well. Just before you stop, just scroll up all the way to the start. Um, yeah, I like the way you have a lot of really, really good references. Are you planning on having it VR integrated somehow? Or are you considering possible future VR integration? Because this is a good candidate.
Well, I believe that we will consider VR. At this moment, we're only focusing on Windows, but
Yeah, but Windows,
as technology progresses,
Yeah.
we would probably think about VR.
Okay, so if you're gonna think about that, because it's big. So yeah, consider it now already, because it will influence some of your design choices. Okay, sweet.